Anyway, I was about to hit record on something. We were already recording. Anyway, where's my cup?
Hello.
Okay.
Did you look at that?
Yeah, we look at this. We do not look at that. Do I need to hide this? Is this going to be a problem?
I don't know. We'll find out.
If this becomes a problem, we're going to have to hide it.
Okay.
Okay.
Hello. And welcome to What's What with Dilly and Dally.
What's up, Dilly?
What's up, Dally?
That was terrible.
It was
Yeah. Hello, and welcome to What's What with Dilly and Dally. What's up, Dilly?
What's up, Dally? Hey guys, look at it. We're in the same room.
Touch you.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
You're so pretty.
Amazing. She smells great.
Do I? I don't feel like
I mean, I was trying to be nice to the camera, but like,
that's kind of like what I did to you yesterday, where I just like you walked into the room and I sniffed you. I just sniffed you because I could smell like a very light, beautiful floral smell. And I was like, what are you wearing? And you were like, makeup.
like I just like put my makeup on. So it must have been like something my makeup smelled good, I guess.
Which is wild to me because I didn't know makeups had smells.
Makeups have smells and they try to cover them up with like light floral scents.
Interesting.
So I think that's it.
I always knew like lip gloss and you could get flavored.
Yeah.
That Dr. Pepper lip smackers.
I was literally about to say, imagine if I walked out smelling like Dr. Pepper lip smackers.
Hell yeah, we need to find that out.
Amazing. Anyway.
Yeah. This is
So now this has been us for a while now. Do we want to talk about really quick why, just touch base, why are you here?
Here being Phoenix.
Yes.
Not New York.
Correct.
I am with Emily. Because I've been here. It's the day after Thanksgiving, by the way. It is Black Friday, the grossest day of the year.
We are inside not doing that.
Yeah, we don't participate. Yeah, I've been here since the second week of September. So it's been almost 3 months.
Yes.
And I'm here to be Evan's nanny. I guess.
So essentially, just like a really quick recap, like long story short, get you a friend like Nicole because I called Nicole because I was having a little bit of a mental breakdown and wanted to like just touch base with my friends. And Nicole offered to come out and help me take care of Evan because that's the issue, because it's a pandemic and I have a 3-year-old and it's hard.
And childcare in the United States is garbage.
Yes, it is. Absolutely garbage. Universal pre-K.
Yeah. Right.
Anyway, so we were struggling. And so Nicole has worked with kids before, loves Evan, loves me, clearly, and came out here and has lived with us for like 3 months. She leaves on December 15th. I don't know what we're going to do. We'll figure it out. But yeah, so while she has been here, we've had a bunch of adventures and we want to talk about it.
Yeah.
So this segment, this episode is going to be called From LA to San Diego. So everyone get on board the train.
Going to California, y'all.
We going to California.
California, here we come. Sorry. That was really
Amazing.
Good. Anyway, the reason we're starting this with LA is because I've been dropping so many hints about this story to Emily for so long. Now I feel like I'm going to let everyone down. But anyway,
no.
A little teeny tiny bit of backstory. I was in a car accident when I was a little kid with a drunk driver involved. They were at fault.
Do not drink and drive.
Yeah. Seriously,
Kids.
I'll come and punch you in the face. There was a lawsuit, obviously. And even though I was only 7, I won a lot of money in this lawsuit. And I didn't get this money until I turned 18, and it would come in increments until I turned 25. So 18-year-old me with like $150,000.
Oh my God. I'm already mad at you.
Yeah. So
Oh no, does it go downhill from here?
kinda. I'm gonna also
I should have my vape for this. Fuck,
Hold on, no, for real.
Yeah, but for real.
Put this on TikTok now. Look.
Oh, this is so funny.
I'm already mad at you.
Okay.
Yeah. So it was like I don't think it was that. I think it was like 100,000 or something like along those lines every year.
Negligible. Anything really? Anything you would have said to me over $50,000, I was gonna be mad. I'm already mad.
Yeah. And it was spread out between 18 and 25, or 23. I can't honestly. It's been a long time. I'm fucking old.
Mm-hmm. So how much did you get? So when you were 18, how much was the first installment of it?
It was like $150,000, something like that.
That was the first installment?
Yeah. And it would come in every year. Every year on my birthday is when I would get this. So it would like hit my bank account.
I have so many questions. Oh my God, keep going.
I did not do that. Like, I did not spend it all on stupid shit.
Okay.
I'm going to say that. I bought myself a car because I was 18.
Mm-hmm.
And no, that was the second year because I didn't get my license until I was 19. I gave my grandma some money because I was living with my grandma at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So I gave her some money to like help with the more, like, I think she paid off her house with it. And like, we helped remodel a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I bought like a computer. I bought like a bunch of clothes. Like, I bought stuff that like any dumb 18-year-old with a shit ton of money would buy. This is not, and I grew up very poor. So giving me this amount of money.
Oh, I know, poor brain.
Yeah, was wild. So I was like, I gotta spend it.
Really quick, let me just take a tiny deviation here because we are Dilly Dally. Pretzel has something to say. But poor brain, really quick, let me define that. Poor brain, if for those of you who have never had to wonder where your next meal is coming from, poor brain is essentially where you are. We have got to let her in. Pretzel.
Okay, Pretzel, you can come in. Or at least just have the door open. Is it showing? No, you're good.
Okay. But yeah, so essentially poor brain is where you. I'm going to lose it, babe. You have got to stop. Come here.
Okay, you can be in the frame.
You can be in it for like a second. Hush. If this makes you hush. Okay. So
Dr. Evil over here.
So poor brain is when you do not have a lot of money, and when you do get money, you immediately think, I have got to spend this, or something's going to take it away, because we are very used to, you get, like, let's say you get birthday money and it's $500. You somehow get $500 birthday money. What do you do with that? Well, a normal person who has had a normal relationship with money would like save part of it, maybe get something they've been wanting, maybe like, do normal things with it. Well, someone who, experiences a lot of financial instability will immediately spend it like that day, like literally that day, maybe that week.
I still do this.
We'll completely spend it. It doesn't matter how much it is, because we're afraid that our car's going to need it. There's going to be a bill that comes in. There's always something that takes that money away. And so you get this like primal feeling of like, I have to spend it on me now, or I'm not going to have it.
Yep.
And like we did that with our stimulus money for sure.
Same.
So like, yeah, that's what poor brain is. We don't shame anybody. I'm being a dick to Nicole because I love her and she knows this, but we don't shame people for the poor brain. It's a real thing. Look it up. It sucks. It takes a lot of unpacking and unlearning.
Yeah.
Anyway,
so then take poor brain, right?
Yes.
And have that with like the brain of an 18-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
Wild.
Yeah.
Nobody should have given me that money.
No, they should.
Or it should have been somebody should have been controlling it.
Somebody should have put in some sort of trust for you. That's wild.
Nobody did. Like I remember when the settlement happened when I was 7, I got a little bit of that money at that time, and it went to my mom, and she bought me like a Super Nintendo, and like some toys and some clothes for school and things like that, and then used it for like rent and shit when I was a kid. Like it helped us a lot. It was like 50 grand or some shit like that. You get like a little bit, and then it all goes into a trust.
Yeah.
So at the time, my best friend Melissa and I've known her since middle school. We were both, it was like the same energy, like just very impulsive, very like wild. We just did shit. We didn't have any fear of consequences. Like we just did dumb shit. And when you get two of the same exact people like that in the same room, nothing good ever happens. There's a band that we both really loved called May. It's spelled M-A-E. Go listen to them. They're amazing. And there's a song called All Deliberate Speed, where at the end of it, they say, sound off, we're going to LA. You wanted to be the one to make it happen. For some reason, we loved that song so much that we were like, we should go to LA together. And then I got this money and I was like, bet. She was what we've dubbed super senior. It's when you repeat your senior year. I don't know if that's like a countrywide thing.
Yeah, they wanted me to do that. That's why I dropped out and got my GED.
Literally same.
Because they messed up. They told me I didn't need class. And then at the end of the year, they're like, you do need that class. You got to come back next year. And I was like, fuck y'all.
It was more like I needed like 4. And I was like, nope, that's not worth my time.
Nope.
So I also have my GED. But Melissa didn't. So Melissa, I had to wait until school vacation. So it's February vacation. Not everybody has February vacation, I guess. I didn't know that. Because there's February vacation. Very weird. And then there's spring vacation like a month and a half later. It's very wild. Weird. But we get a week in February. So I bought the tickets. I wish I had the hoodie with me so I could show you, but I'll post pictures of it. There's a hoodie that we bought. It's like hand stitched from this website that I don't even know still exists. It's called Neighbor Hoodies. And they say our nicknames on them, and they have the quote on the back of them. And we were like, we're going to LA. 2 18-year-olds who are dumb as shit with money going to LA. We booked a Best Western in Studio City. I didn't know anything about LA. I didn't know where to stay. I just like, hey, this is where we're going. Couldn't rent a car because we weren't 25. And so we were like, yeah, we'll just take taxis everywhere because this is way before Uber and all that stuff. So you had to like call a taxi company and it's just, God, the world. It's changed so much. And we got there and it was like probably like 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock at night. And we were in this Studio City neighborhood that like looked really sketchy. And we had seen when we were driving by, we saw a gas station down the street and we were like, because we can get away with this in our town. We used to go to like 7-Eleven and there was this guy, Mr. Kim, who used to sell us all like beer and cigarettes when we weren't old enough. There's always that guy in the town or the bodega or whatever. So we tried this out on the gas station down the street. We walked in the middle of the night, 2 young 18-year-old girls in a city we do not know. In the middle of the night, about 2 miles down the road to this gas station. And we bought cigarettes and we just put a case of beer on the counter. And when he asked for our ID, we did the whole like, hi, like, oh, we just flew in from New York. Like we forgot our ID at our hotel. Like, is that cool? Yes, it was.
Oh my God.
And there was someone that was sitting in the doorway of the beer cooler of this gas station smoking a blunt.
Cool.
And so Melissa, and we smoked weed at the time. And Melissa was like, hey, do you know where I can get some of that?
I need a friend like that, like sometimes, because I, at least in situations where I need weed, I'm too nervous to ask people for it, because that's why I need the weed, because I'm nervous. So I am not the person who's going to go up and be like, hey, where'd you get that?
Yeah, no, both of us are like that. So it was just like, yeah, we have, so I wasn't embarrassed. And I was like, yeah, where'd you get that? So he sold us one of his blunts while we were there, bought this case of beer, walked across the street to Jack in the Box because we'd never seen one before. And we ate Jack in the Box.
Oh, and stayed in the toilet the whole rest of the time. That's the story.
Walked back to our hotel and we were there for 5 days. We didn't know what to do. We didn't have really anything planned. It was kind of just like, we'll fuck around and find out. We went to like Hollywood Studios and did like walked around that place for a little bit. Again, we were taking taxis everywhere. And we went to Santa Monica, walked around like the pier, tiny bit, did a little bit of shopping, like we'd never seen a Vans store before. It was really cool. One of the things that we did was our taxi driver, we could smell weed on him and we didn't have any. So we were like, hey, taxi driver, like dude that we don't know, where can we get weed? And he was like, oh, well, if you don't mind taking a little detour, like I'll take you over to my spot and we'll go pick up. And we were like, cool.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So kept driving. We didn't know where we were. We had no idea where we were going. And I don't remember the neighborhood that we were in, but it was probably not the best neighborhood for two young girls to get brought by like an old dude. Got out of his car, went to like this apartment. We were waiting for like 10-15 minutes, came back out, charged us an exorbitant amount of money.
I am sure he fleeced y'all.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We totally got fleeced. And then drove us back to our hotel. So this guy knew what he was saying, gave us his business card and said, if you need more, or if you need more rides, just hit me up. So that was like one of those situations where like, I would never do that now. No. And if someone told me they were going to do that, I'd be like, are you out of your mind?
No.
We could have gotten taken.
Absolutely murdered.
Like,
absolutely murdered. That's insane.
I think about this now and I'm like, I am so surprised that both of us are still here today.
I mean, I think you had a better chance since it was two of you. I think maybe if it was just one of you doing that, that's even worse to me. Like, maybe, I feel like you have a better chance when it's two people. Like, if it was you and I and we were in that situation, I would feel more comfortable. No, we weren't. But I would feel more comfortable. It was you and I, and it was like, okay, maybe we'll go. Cause like, I don't know. I feel more safe. It's two of us. If it was just me, oh my God. When I'm in the thing in the Uber, I'll like watch them on the thing.
Yeah, I do that too.
We're weird. I can't imagine.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then, what else did we do? We did some wild shit.
So you got a weed hookup.
Yep, we got the weed hookup. We like for 2 days we hit him up like twice, and he just like drove to our hotel and dropped off for us. There was an awesome sushi place like 2 doors down from us, and we would just order from them and have it delivered to the room, and we would just sit out on our little balcony and eat like a shit ton of sushi. There was also like a spa type thing next door that I think was attached to the hotel, but I don't know. I don't remember if it was or not. And we got like massages and hot rocks and like all sorts of, we just indulged. And then on the last day, it was the day before the Oscars. And we wanted to go down to like Hollywood Boulevard. Yeah. And like we drove by the sign, we drove by like Capitol Records or whatever the hell, I can't remember what record place it is. It's like a famous building. So we're walking down Hollywood Boulevard. They're setting up the red carpet. It's a little rainy. So I got to see the Oscar red carpet. It was really cool. Saw some of the stars on the walk and everything. And then we were like, let's go get tattooed. Obviously. So we got tattooed. This right here, this brass knuckle, Melissa and I have it. Both. She has it on her other wrist. Because we thought we were tough as fuck. So cool. Yeah, we thought we were really cool. I also got the tiny stars. Oh no, it was the heart on the back of the broken heart on the back of my neck that I always forget about. And my reasoning behind this tattoo was like, I'm single now. My heart is broken. When I get married eventually, I will put a Band-Aid over it.
Oh, Nicole. I thought you were going to say you were going to fill it in.
Nope.
But Band-Aid is so much worse. Band-Aid is so much worse.
And I mean, I've been married for 5 years now, and I just forget that it exists.
No, but you're polyamorous now, so every time you get a new partner, you fill a piece in.
Oh, I like
it's different colors.
I'm gonna talk to Amalia and see what she could do about it. It'd be so funny.
It's like a little mosaic.
It's so good. That's amazing.
Hide their initials in it.
Got like 3 of them now, so that's amazing.
Oh my fucking God. You're like, I'm single, tattoo a broken heart on the back of my neck.
And
amazing.
It's like the ugliest broken heart ever. It's like really elongated.
Fine.
It's not great.
It's kind of, you know, Humpty Dumpty.
It's just
and it
not.
falls in it. It's kind of like a little egg shape, but
It's
broken.
just so weird looking. Like, and then Melissa,
But you can
because
tell it's a heart.
you can tell it's a heart as long as you can tell what it is.
Yeah.
I feel like that's my like mistake tattoo.
Yeah. Oh, mine's also in the same place. I think that's like a very like good like if it's fucked up, I can't see it.
Yeah.
So it's fine.
At least it's not a tramp stamp because that just would have been. I feel like I hate that word now because like it's slut shamey and
listen.
but
I was a
everyone knows
tramp
what
and
that
never
means.
got a tramp.
Same.
Listen.
But like, so that was Melissa was a hairdresser.
Mhm.
She like went to school for it. She was like the only person to cut my hair for like a long time.
Mhm.
She was good at it too. So I bought her, she has on her, in the inside of her forearm, she has like a really dope pair of scissors. It's like really cool. So that was, I mean, like I said, this story, I was hyping it up so much, but like, it's really not that horrible.
I mean, I have like way more questions.
Yeah.
So like,
okay, here's the question and answer portion.
what the fuck? So like I'm so sorry to return to money. The full amount that you received between 18 and 25 was somewhere around like $500,000.
Mhm.
What the fuck did you do? I am so sorry. I get poor brain, but holy shit.
Yeah. So
I need a little backstory, little explanation. You don't have to put it in the show if you do not.
No, that's okay. Hey, listen, this is actually a very good like warning for people. Like, this is great. So for the first like 3 years of it, from 18, 19, 20, I every year when I would get it, I would do some responsible things with it. I'd pay rent. Mm-hmm. Some people let you pay rent for like a whole year. I did that. Mm-hmm. I helped my grandmother like do the whole kitchen, all the floors in the house, the doors, things like that. Mm-hmm. Gave her some money because she was taking care of me. 19 is when I bought my car, just bought it outright. Mm-hmm. It was like a Hyundai Elantra GT. It was gross. And I ran that car into the ground. Mm-hmm. I bought like a camera. I bought a computer. I bought clothes. I bought dumb shit. But like, mostly I just used it to live for like a while. And then 21, I just spent it on like friends. Was 21. 21 was the year where I just spent a lot of money on my friends, like bought shit for everybody all the time, took everybody to shows, drove around all over the place, did a couple road trips, bought my boyfriend at the time a bunch of shit. Like I bought my birthday present from him to me for him with that money.
Oh my God.
And it was like a $400 signed first edition, first pressing Kurt Vonnegut book.
Oh my God.
Because it was the year he died. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, he's my hero. He's one of my heroes. I love Kurt Vonnegut. So I was like, I want this book. This will be your birthday present to me. Like something like that, or Christmas or something like that. I bought like a really expensive Nikon D80 when that was like the first came out. Because I really liked photography for a while. And then my eyes went and I was like, well, I'm fucked. So then 22 happened. I only had one more year before it was the last one, but I needed money really badly. My boyfriend and I had split. My car was in Texas. I was dating someone new. I had moved back to Long Island. I was living up in Poughkeepsie for a couple of those years. And I did that, you know, those commercials where it's like, it's my money and I want it now. Mm-hmm. Don't fucking do it.
Oh no.
Let me just tell you, they take like 70% of it. It's so I didn't know that. I did not know. So like Peachtree was the one I used. I know there's a few. Mm-hmm. Peachtree was the one I used. They took so much of my money. And then I had a little bit of it left. I used that to fly my boyfriend and I out to Texas to pick up my car, use some of it. It had just been sitting in Texas for a year. No one started it or anything. So it was barely running, needed all sorts of new things. We managed to be able to drive it to a Walmart and then get like a bunch of parts for it. And my boyfriend at the time was like a car person. So he did it all himself. And then we drove it back home. And then I had to get it like registered and all the DMV stuff. So that took a lot of money. I also paid for college. Like I did a year at school and I paid for it outright with that money. And And then it just ran out. That was it. That was like my, that's what happened to that money. I just spent it.
God.
I just spent it on a lot of dumb shit, and don't ever do fucking Peachtree or whatever.
Yeah, never do if you get all of the money now, they take a ton of it.
So much of it.
Absolutely fucking wild to me.
Yeah.
Absolutely wild. Holy shit. Anyway, so that's LA.
Yep, that was LA.
Woof.
So many, and I said to Nova, because Nova and I went to Vegas. I said to Nova, I'm like, I'm really glad that I did Vegas in my 30s, because if I had done Vegas in my like early 20s,
you were dead.
Yep. No, 100%. I would, or like worse.
Yeah.
Than dead. I would have put myself in so many positions that I could have ended up dead or worse. And there is worse than dead. Trust me.
Yes.
If you've ever been sexually assaulted, you know that sometimes that's worse than death.
Yes. But honestly, I feel like you also would have walked right in there and been like, oh, I can gamble a little bit. And you would have
lost all my money.
Lost all your money. Right then, one night.
I think somebody had told me when I turned 21, they were like, we should go somewhere. And someone said, let's go to Vegas. And I mentioned it to, I want to say I mentioned it to my grandmother. And my grandmother was like, absolutely fucking not. You're not going to Vegas with that much money.
Oh my God, good.
My grandma was cool about that. Okay. She told me not to go. But yeah, that was stupid, dumb teenage me with a lot of money. I just put myself in a lot of really fucked up scenarios that like I could have easily been taken or raped or murdered and been a statistic. And I lived most of my 20s like that. Thank God I grew up, guys.
Oh my God, that's wild. Yeah. Okay, well, choo-choo, pulling in the station. This is the hyperfixation station, and this is my hyperfixation station. I get to talk about what I've been thinking about recently, and what I have been thinking about is the movie The Holiday. Okay, and I am here to talk about why that is the best holiday movie. Are we all ready?
The best holiday movie.
Yes. Like, it's the best Christmas movie.
Bold.
It's also the best romantic movie. It's romantic comedy. Absolutely. It's the best movie. I love this movie so much, and I could talk about it so much. Okay, here we go. So let's start with the characters. Let's start with, we have Iris, who is amazing and perfect, and who I also had a revelation because I watched it yesterday. I think I watched it yesterday. Iris is very much me. I ffeel very kindred with Iris.
No, really though.
And then you have Cameron Diaz, who I'm going to call Cameron Diaz because she embodies Cameron Diaz more than she does her name in the movie. I love this movie so much, and honestly Amanda's her name.
I was going to say, I know her name.
Cameron Diaz. So we have Cameron Diaz, who's amazing. And I also figured out is you. Absolutely, holy shit. And I will get back to that in a minute. And then we have Jude Law, who is amazing, gorgeous, perfect. I love Jude Law so much. I can't help but talk about how much.
I don't love that he cheated on his wife with his nanny.
No, that all sucks. But I love Jude Law, in the roles he plays.
Yes.
To be entirely fair, he does not owe me morality, but he does owe me good performances. He does do that. And then we have Jack Black, who come on, Jack Black. Whoever was like, okay, we need not a lead, but we need one of our pieces for a romantic comedy. Jack Black, give that person an award. Give that casting director more money, because listen, it was a perfect casting choice. I don't think I would have ever thought in my life Jack Black, the perfect romantic comedian, but that there's a specific scene where he's wandering around and they're getting
Blockbuster too.
They're wandering around Blockbuster, which is very good.
It is.
But they literally he's humming the theme song music to all of these famous movies and kind of embarrassing her, but not really.
Jack Black thing where he's dancing.
Yeah, and he's just being weird. And then there's a moment where he sees his ex outside, or his current girlfriend outside with somebody else.
Dude.
And the acting there, where he completely drops it and sprints from the store and chases her, it's heart-wrenching to watch him go from silly Jack Black to like really upset and sad. And then like they have that moment where they like bond over like heartbreak. It's just very cute. Like it's the perfect Jack Black romantic comedy role. And like I love it. He's perfect in this movie. Anyways, so back to how these characters are like Nicole and I. So I was watching this movie when I was sick, and the first part starts out with Iris talking about unrequited love, which I very much identify with, especially her unrequited love.
Fuck Jasper.
Jasper. So Jasper, if you've never seen the movie, is the kind of person who like he's the romantic interest that you are head over heels for, but they know you're head over heels for them, but they just keep you on the hook. They just enough to not let you go, but not enough to be like, yeah, like let's be together. I love you. Like, but like we'll still string you along, and that's this character. So, and he even looks like my ex. I swear to God, the curly. I will show you a picture. The hair, the jawline. He looks exactly like my ex Jasper does. And so I identify with Iris a ton in the very beginning, where she sees this guy that she's in love with, and they broke up because you find out quickly they broke up because he was cheating on her with somebody else at the newspaper that they work at. And then what happens is she goes out for the holiday party, and he gets brought up on stage, and they announce that he is engaged to this woman that he was cheating on Iris with. And so she cries, and he sees that she's crying and looks slightly concerned, and then kind of goes back to being like, oh yes, my wife. Because he literally had just been flirting with her like a minute before.
Yeah.
So Iris freaks out, she's crying, she goes home. And that's like where she's at. Cameron Diaz's character, immediately she wakes up, her boyfriend's mad, and like she's throwing shoes because he cheated, but he like won't admit that he cheated, and it's a whole thing. He eventually gets like thrown outside, and like he finally admits that he cheated on her. Like finally admits.
He's like, okay, fine.
I did. Okay, I've been cheating for a while. Like, let's her know. And then he's like, are you happy? And she comes down and she's like, did you say am I happy? And he's like, that's not what I meant. You get me crazy, which is gaslighting immediately. And then she punches him in the face twice.
It's so good.
And then proceeds to go back inside. And what I think is very funny is that both Iris and Amanda received heartbreak. And Iris went home, cried, made tea in her cottage, and kind of thinks about killing herself for a minute. She breathes in the gas, and then she like opens the window and she's like, no point. And she like slaps herself.
Yeah.
And then Amanda gets cheated on, and she immediately throws this dude out and like punches him in the face twice. And I'm like, that's Nicole and I. That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair. And that's how we would absolutely handle that situation.
100%.
And like Iris is very like bookish and stuff. Amanda's very into all the movies and stuff.
Oh
and
my
like,
God. Wait. I just realized that literally did happen to me.
Yes, it did happen to you.
And yours literally happened to you.
Yes, it did.
And that is exactly the way I did respond.
And that's exactly the way I did respond.
God. It just clicked for me.
Yes.
Also, quick sidebar. So the actor who plays Jasper.
Yes.
I don't remember where in the timeline of the years that this movie falls, but I remember vehemently hating him because you're supposed to hate him. But like, I didn't hate him until I knew I was supposed to hate him because he plays the bad guy in A Knight's Tale.
I was about to say A Knight's Tale.
So I already hated this dude, and then I hated him even more for what he does to her.
Yes, absolutely.
Wow.
But
this movie is our life.
It's amazing. It's so good. So that's where they're at. They decided to switch houses, which is an actual thing. You can do this. It used to be a lot bigger before Airbnb was a thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, you switch houses and everything. They decide to leave the next day. Wild. They switch houses and lives. Iris immediately meets some old dude and is hanging out with him for a while, which is like fair.
So cute.
And also what I would do.
It is what you would do.
And then it's like, yeah, this is my best friend. He's a 75-year-old.
He's like 90.
He's like a 90-year-old, like.
She just found him wandering on the road, where, like, couldn't remember where his house was.
Yeah. And then Cameron Diaz gets to the house, relaxes for exactly 6 hours, and then packs up to go home because she can't relax. Tell me that's not Nicole. Is like, I'm gonna relax, do all the things I want to do. I'm gonna read all the books, I'm gonna eat the food I want to eat, I'm gonna relax. She gets there literally 6 hours. And she's like, nope. And she starts packing up. She drives to town and is like freaked out because she can't drive on the left side of the road.
Which I've
like,
done.
Don't hit me. Which is very Nicole. Just all of it is very good. Iris gets to Amanda's house and immediately closes all the curtains and sleeps.
Oh, Amanda gets Iris. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Which is so what you would do.
Hello. So anyway, they go through all of this. Obviously, they meet the loves of their lives. It's Jude Law is
Iris's
brother, and shows up because he's wasted and wants to sleep on his sister's couch, and then finds out that his sister's not there. And then Cameron Diaz is like, we should sleep together.
That's what I was just gonna say. I was like, that's also very much peak me.
It is peak you, but it's also like, can we talk about how this is like, it's a romantic movie, and they could have easily made it where like he seduces her and like she's like, I don't think we should do this, and he's like, no, we should, like, which is always creepy and weird, and it would have made it like the worst movie.
Yeah.
But it's literally her leading it the whole time.
Yeah.
Like she's like, I want to do this. I think we should have sex if you want to. And he's like, yeah, is that a trick question?
I loved it. Jude Law's reaction. Jude Law is what dude in that movie is what dude should aspire to be like.
Absolutely.
I love him.
Fucking love Jude Law.
And Jack Black.
Yes,
both of them.
Absolutely. They're both so good. So like there's that whole scene where they're like that's their beginning where they like have sex, but it's her leading it. Like she's always the one leading it. And then he says the next day, like, oh, it's cool. Like, do you want to like hang out? And she's like, no, you can go. I won't fall in love with you. It's fine. And he's like, fucking rude. Cool. If you decide to stay, I'm going to go hang out. I'll be at the pub with my friends. And can I say one thing that does take me out of this movie is the fact that she is going to leave the next day. I'm like, that's kind of fucking rude to Iris.
Yeah.
Like, that's kind of shitty. And I don't think Iris ever knows.
No, I don't think she knew that she wanted to leave.
So was Amanda just going to go home, but like stay in a hotel or something?
Yeah, I have no idea,
For the remainder of the
honestly.
2 weeks, that just seems shitty. Anyway. So Amanda decides to stay, and she shows up at the bar, and then she gets super wasted and comes home with him again. And the next day she's like, did we? And he's like, no, mostly because you were unconscious. And she's like, ah. So like, again, being like a good fucking person.
Yeah.
Who's like, no, like I just brought you home and we hung out, and then takes her into the city for lunch, and that's how they like start bonding. Because he's like, I'm running out of reasons why we shouldn't go to lunch.
Yeah.
Which is very cute, and that's how their like whole thing starts. Iris meets Jack Black's character. What is his name? Miles.
Yeah.
Iris meets Miles
because he's friends with Amanda's ex, and he comes and picks up his stuff.
Yeah, he comes to pick up Amanda's ex's stuff. And he's dating someone named Maggie, who's an actress.
Shannon Sossaman, man, she was so big in the 90s.
Yes. And so he's clearly very in love with her, and like she's clearly like meh about him. Like they make it very clear through body language. And then but it's clear like he's so like devoted to her, which is cute to Iris because like what she's used to is like someone being very flippant. And at some point she says that someone's like, did he ever say I love you about Jasper? And she's like, yeah, he did, absolutely. 3, almost 4 times. And when I brought that up to him, he said it must have been as an answer to a question. Which, oh my God, it's the gaslighting that she talks about. So like the fact that this man is so willing to be like, I love this person, and so like open with like their romantic gestures was very sweet to Iris. So she sees that. And then really, I think the big night is when he comes to get the computer and she's having a Hanukkah party.
Oh, for the old man, I love him so much.
And all of his friends come over and they have like a little Hanukkah party, which is, again, can we talk about what makes the holiday the best? Because it's the holiday. They talk about Christmas, they talk about Hanukkah, and they talk about New Year's. All of these holidays are covered.
Yes.
And that's why it's called the holiday. It's very cute. Anyway, so they do Hanukkah stuff. They all like it cuts to them like all drinking and like hanging out and talking and
It's
like
so cute.
It's so cute. And then they decide to watch movies together because he's a composer. She hasn't seen a lot of movies. And so it's like, yeah, we should watch movies together. Like his girlfriend's going out of town for the shoot or whatever. So like they can hang out. Cut to the movie scene where they're at the Blockbuster.
Yeah.
And then they find out that he sees Maggie. It's heartbreaking. She was back like a week ago, and didn't tell him he sent her Christmas present.
Oh my God!
To Mexico or wherever she was.
New Mexico.
New Mexico. It sucks. And so then he goes back to Iris's place, and they like drink and commiserate because she's like, I am also like in love with someone who cannot and will not love me back. And like gives this big speech to Miles, and Miles is like, okay, we both need therapy, clearly. Yes. You need this more than I do, and hands her the drink back, and they like have a cute night bonding over heartbreak.
Yeah.
And, like it's very sweet. Then they start hanging out, and then Maggie comes back and is like, but I love you.
Because the dude that was like really good looking and awesome probably dumped her, and she was like, let me go back to this guy who I think is a 5 but's really a 10.
So then there's this cute moment where like Miles has his ex come back and is like, please, I want to be with you.
On the phone when they're eating at the restaurant.
When they're at the restaurant. Yeah. So he goes to talk to her. And then Iris is at home and fucking Jasper shows up at her fucking creepy. Don't do this.
Came all the way from the United Kingdom to California. Listen, I flew to the United Kingdom from New York. That's a long ass flight. Can you imagine doing it from California on purpose when you're engaged to someone else?
You're engaged to someone else and you show up just to make sure that this person does not like get away from you, because they're clearly like pulling away, and like he just wanted to make sure that his hooks were still in. And like he shows up and is like, oh, I haven't heard from you, and then starts being like, I miss you, I love you, blah blah blah. And then they're cuddling on the couch and she asks him like,
so what are you gonna do about this?
And he's like, what? And she's like, or she asks like, how did she take it or whatever? And he's like, what are you talking about? And she's like, did you break up with her? And he's like, well, no. And she gets up and she's like, my God, that is her like crap. She's like, oh my God, get the fuck out. Get out of my house.
Yeah, like literally she does that. It's
you
great.
have to go. You have to go. And that is peak me.
Yep.
Peak me.
Yep.
Of like having a mental realization of like, oh my God, you're a dick. You have to go. Get out of my house. Goodbye. Oh my God, I'm an idiot. Go. Like that's so me. Mm-hmm. She has an anxiety attack, gets him out, and then shows up to they go to the old man. He gets an award for being
she convinces him and she helps him in the pool.
And she helps him
and they pick out a suit.
It's all cute. Yeah. It's a really cute B plot. They show up at the thing for him to receive his award. He gets his award, and like Jack Black shows up at the very last minute
and composed that song for him.
And so he shows up in time and got the song in, and then he shows up next to Iris and he's like,
I didn't.
And he's like, Maggie and I are through. I did it. Which is after she just asked Jasper, you didn't break up with her, and Miles just offers it freely, like, I broke up with her. What are you doing on New Year's? And she's like, oh, I'm going to be in London on New Year's. And he's like, I've always wanted to go to London. And it's so cute.
It is so cute. So my favorite part of this is, now that I'm thinking about this and thinking about it through the lens of these people are us, like, it's so true. Jude Law, he keeps talking to people on the phone and she can hear him saying girls' names and stuff. And so she's just like, is he seeing other women? Like gets a little bit insecure about it. And then she starts checking herself, which is something that I do.
Yes.
And then you find out that it's, she shows up at his house.
She shows up at his house. So like, again, like how these parallels. So going back to Cameron Diaz and Jude Law's story, They hang out, they get to know each other, they start to fall in love clearly, and she's like, I have to leave, so we shouldn't hang out anymore, you have to go. He's like, okay, fine. So he leaves, and then she decides she's being over dramatic and is like, this can work, I can figure this out, you're being a dickhead, should go hang out with him. He clearly wanted to hang out.
Yeah.
And so she goes to his house, she shows up there, which again, don't do that. Like, I get, this was early.
I mean, I would do that.
It worked out, but like,
I would do that though. I have done that, I should say.
It was one thing if you're in the same city, I guess, but like, it's very weird to just show up on someone's doorstep. Like, I would not appreciate that. But anyway, so she shows up on his doorstep and thinks that like he's seeing other girls because like he's been like getting calls and she sees the names. And then he answers the door and he's like clearly upset that she's there, like confused. And she hears music and she's like, oh no, you have someone here, don't you? And he's like, I am not alone. And then like two little girls show up.
Well, one shows up and then she's like, oh, you have a daughter. And then there's another one and he goes,
he's a
single dad.
You find out he's a single dad.
Widower.
They go in and the way it's done is lovely. I think this is perfect. They go in. She's like, oh, you have a lovely house. And he's like, and the little girl's like, Daddy, you take her coat. And then she goes to do it. And Cameron Diaz turns around and she's like, oh, this is great. And she goes, are you married? Tell me right now.
Yeah, like the little girl. I love the girl. Oh my God.
Like, as she's taking the coat off. And he's like, no. And then she spells out divorced and he spells back widower.
Yeah.
And so it's like, okay. And that gets everyone, it's like sad, but then he's like, who wants hot chocolate? And then they go.
The napkin face thing is so cute.
Mr. Napkin Head, which is cute. It's a cute
I love
scene.
the little girl, the younger one, Sophie.
Yeah.
One of them's Sophie and the other one's like Amelia or something like that.
Yeah.
And she says to her, she's like, you look like my Barbie.
Yeah, you look like my Barbie. And they go upstairs and they lay in the tent. You also find out like Amanda's backstory is that she can't cry. That's like a big thing, is that like her dad left, she cried a ton and then hasn't cried since. And they called themselves the Three Musketeers. It was a whole thing. And then while they're laying there, one of the little girls, it calls the three of them the Three Musketeers. And it's like heartwarming. And then he holds her hand.
Yeah.
Because it's very cute. And
man, I kind of wanted one so bad.
It's so cute. It's a very cute bonding moment. And then their story is that they're leaving and she's like, I gotta go. It's okay. Like, we're gonna be okay. Like, they decide not to do long distance, but like, they have to go.
Yeah.
And so she's like, she just leaves. And then she's in the car on the way back and she starts crying.
Yeah.
Which is like a whole thing. And she gets so excited.
Can we talk about the fact, because she's a movie trailer producer.
Yes.
She makes movie trailers. And one of my favorite parts is this, like, it's such a little bit, but all of her stuff has the movie guy voiceover thing. It's so funny.
It's like Amanda Jones. I can't remember her.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Finally cries. Like
yes. And so she cries and she gets so excited about it and she runs back to the cottage. And when she gets there and flings the door open, he's standing there weeping because he says earlier, I cry all the time. Like, I cry all the time. And so he's not kidding, because when she goes in, he's openly weeping. And so they hug and she's like, I might as well stay for New Year's. And then the last scene is all four of them, because they do all know each other now. All four of them celebrating at Graham's house, Jude Law's house.
I almost forgot his name. Thank you for saying
I don't think I said it until right now.
Yeah.
They all go to Jude Law's house and it's very cute. And they all spend New Year's together. And it's the cutest fucking movie. It is precious. It is all the holidays. It is so sweet. It's sentimental. It's heartfelt.
There is not a single I don't think that you can say this about any other romantic comedy. There is not one single problematic thing with the plot line. Like, I mean, like the actual love interest, the one that they're going to end up with. Yeah. There's always something in a romantic comedy that you're is like, a little off.
That's weird. I would.
This is none of that.
Yeah.
Like, none of it happens. And then one of my all-time favorite scenes before we wrap this up is when they talk on the phone, Cameron Diaz and Kate Winslet.
Oh my God, yes.
and she's on call waiting with her brother, but it's not. She thinks it's very Mean Girls.
Yeah,
she like
she's
clicks
trying
over.
to click back over.
You slept with Amanda, and she's like, Amanda's like, it's me, babe.
It's me. You slept with the woman who stayed.
He
in my
told
house?
you that? Like it was.
He told you that? Sorry, I'll be right back. How dare you? Still me.
It's
I must have
so
lost
good.
him.
God, that movie is so good.
It's just very good. The only, I will say, only continuity error that I personally have, and I think about it every fucking time I watch this movie.
Ooh.
In the very beginning, when they take her, she's being taken to the cottage. She's been being driven in like a limousine, essentially, to this cottage.
Oh,
and the guy's like, the guy's like, I can't make it down there. I'm not gonna be able to turn around down there. So like, can you just get out and walk it? And she's like, no. And then he leaves her there to walk it. But then at the end of the movie,
and Jude Law drops her off right in front.
Yeah. And at the end of the movie, motherfucker, same dude.
Yeah.
Sitting in a limousine in front of the cottage. So how'd you turn around down there, my guy? I thought you couldn't do that.
Yeah. That is weird. I never realized that. That's annoying.
It makes me so mad. I don't know why.
Because multiple times Jude Law drops her off in front of the house. At the end, the limousine.
What is waiting there? Facing the right way now.
They literally just did that to give Amanda just an obstacle.
Yeah, because she needed to have a bad time.
She needed to have because she was very privileged. Yeah. It's like snowing. She's in the middle of nowhere. She's from LA. It's like, we need to make this American struggle on these small backcountry woods in the UK.
Yes.
How annoying, though.
It's very annoying. Anyway, Jojo, or you're pulling away from the station. I hope everyone enjoyed my colorful commentary and recap, essentially, of the holiday.
I hope it stays on Netflix for a while.
Movie. It's actually leaving November 30th, is what it says. I don't know why they would do that.
Why wouldn't you keep a movie about the holidays? And yet Love Actually, which is garbage,
and that is probably
always on.
Anyway. Okay, so pulling out of hyperfixation station, we go right into San Diego.
I'm wearing a hat that I got there.
For our audio listeners, Nicole's wearing a hat.
It's I bought it on the boardwalk, which we found out was the longest boardwalk in the world.
Longest pier.
World or country? I can't remember now.
I can't remember. It's very long. We did walk it.
Yeah, we couldn't walk the whole way, and I'll post a picture of this too. There was a sign on the part where it like T-shapes. It goes a little bit further and then it T-shapes. And there was like a whole big fence. And it was like, I am broken. I am down, closed for maintenance. I do not know when I will be back up again or something like that. I do not
know when I will be fixed.
Yeah. And then I took a picture of it and I was like, man, this sign is attacking me.
Hard say.
Okay.
Do you want to go into a little bit of why we were in San Diego? You do not have to if you do not want to.
Well, I'll preface it with I'll talk about the beginning of it part, and then if you want to talk about why, what, because it was your idea.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So we're gonna get a little bit sad, and then it'll end up being really happy and fun.
And let's add a trigger warning here.
Yeah, so trigger warning for anyone who has lost someone close to them, be it friend, family, whoever. This is your trigger warning. We're going to talk a little bit about some loss and some grief. 9 years ago, I don't know when this is going to premiere, but it'll still be 9 years ago.
Yeah.
9 years ago, I lost my younger brother, Travis. And he was only 20, and it was very sudden. Obviously, it was a complete, it wasn't like he was sick or it wasn't, old age or anything like that. It was like a very tragic, sudden, horrible thing. And every year on the anniversary, the Deathiversary, what was it, that TikTok Cameron?
Yeah.
Cameron was like, this is Deathiversary, is that a thing? Yeah. It is a thing. Deathiversary is definitely a word. I just don't, I get sad, I cry for a while, and then I just don't do anything. We do have one tradition that my mom started because yellow was my brother's favorite color. And so we all wear something yellow, or at least we try to. I don't really have a lot of yellow things. So it's hard.
It's hard.
It's so hard. Yellow's not my color. Yellow drowns me out. But yeah, so it grief is like one of those, they it's like the stereotypical thing that everyone says. It's like it comes in waves. Like it does. Like I will go for months being totally fine, and then I'll get like really sad about it. And every year on the anniversary and on his birthday, I just basically have always been like, don't talk to me, leave me alone, just like everybody fuck off. Like I listened to his favorite band, Bayside. They have a song about when their drummer died called Winter, and it's just very kind of spot on because it's wintertime, November when he died, and it's also a song about like how lucky you were to have this person, how sad the loss is and all that stuff. So yeah, that's basically what was going on. And I was going to be out here in Phoenix for Travis's Deathiversary and get you a friend like Emily.
Well, okay, so I'll take over a little bit here. Nicole, I knew that this was the thing, and I had actually had it in my calendar pre-COVID that I was going to go and surprise Nicole in New York for that day, and I was going to at least spend the day with her. But then the pandemic hit, so obviously I could not do that in that year. And so since she was going to be here for it, I asked if there's anything that she did normally, and she said that she usually doesn't do anything. But if you know Nicole, you know that she likes to travel. She likes to like go do stuff, and like that is Nicole never wants to not do anything.
Yeah,
to be entirely fair, like, and so like that was like, okay, we have to do something that day.
Yeah,
like
I'm like the physical embodiment of restless legs.
Yeah, and so I was like, okay, we gotta do something. So I figured out where we were, and I was like, what's cool around us? And we had Grand Canyon, which isn't that far, and then San Diego. So I went to Nicole and I was like, okay, look, we're not going to just sit around on that day. Let's go and do something. Let's make a trip. So I told her she could pick. We could go to the Grand Canyon or we could go to San Diego. And she chose San Diego because we'd be going to the Grand Canyon later anyway.
More on that later.
Yeah. So she wanted to see San Diego. So we started planning.
Yeah. I was like, because I'm a planner when it comes to vacations. Like I love planning, and I love finding all the cool stuff around and like the things to do and all that stuff. Like we weren't going to have a lot of time. This was literally like, so in Phoenix, we're a 5-hour drive. It's like 5.5 hours. And so the day before we left, drove there, got there by sunset. We were going to spend Travis's Deathiversary, November 10th, wear yellow. And then the next day we were going to drive back to Phoenix and get back by dinner time. So we didn't have a whole lot of time to do like all sorts of stuff because there's a lot of shit to do in San Diego. There's a lot of stuff to do in San Diego.
We did not hit everything.
Yeah, no, but like so I found this casita is what it was called.
It was a shotgun house that they had put walls into and made 3 different units. Let's not be wild here.
Yeah.
It was not a casita.
Yeah, no, it wasn't. It was cute.
It was cute. It was very cute.
Yeah.
It was a shotgun house that they divided into 3s.
Yeah. It
was essentially a tiny house and there was nowhere to park.
Yeah. Oh God, the parking. Oh my God.
San Diego, I have one question. Where the fuck do you put your cars? For real. Like where do you expect people to put your car? Like why do you build housing? Nowhere to put your car.
Specifically Ocean Beach. That is where we were.
Yes. What's your problem? Ocean Beach, I am talking to you, OB. I need you to come through. What is up with your parking situation? We also found a parking spot that we were like, or a parking lot that said public parking. All we saw were signs that said public parking. We parked in it. And then the next day we had a ticket because on the other entrance, there was a small sign that said paper parking. Even though all the other big signs just said public parking.
Yeah.
What?
At an old bank. And what made it even worse was that when I had gotten up early that morning and Emily was still sleeping, and so I just went to go check on the car. That was literally all I was doing. I went to go check on the car. If I woke up earlier and it was about an hour before I went to check on the car. If I had checked on the car 15 minutes sooner, we would not have gotten the ticket because the cop wouldn't have shown up and given us the ticket. Because I looked at the timestamp on this ticket. It was only a $50 ticket. Oh, shit, I still got to pay that.
Oh, no. I was about to say, did we pay that? Jesus. Anyway.
Oh, my God. I still it's in my bag.
Okay.
Which is even also funny because we didn't have anywhere to park.
Yeah.
And that was the only place to park.
And all the street parking was like 2-hour parking.
Yeah.
So where do you put where? What? Where?
There's so many houses. It's all crammed together. If you live on Long Island and you're listening to the podcast, Ocean Beach is so much like Long Beach. It's like not even funny. It's like house, fire hydrant, house, driveway, fire hydrant, drive. Where do you park?
The way that capitalism has set us up, it told us we all needed a car, and it killed public transportation. So now we all have to have a car. Why would you know that and build housing and not have anywhere to put people's cars?
And then also residents of Ocean Beach, stop being idiots and voting down parking garages.
Yes.
Because I know that's what you're doing.
Y'all keep voting down those parking garages. I know they're in your local elections, and y'all are like, it's ugly. Just put up a parking garage.
Yep.
It's not gonna, like, I get it. Like, you don't want to pave paradise. I get it. But like,
I was literally singing that song.
But like right now, it's littered with cars. Paradise is just covered in cars. Give people somewhere to put them.
Ocean Beach was amazing.
But driving around there is a nightmare.
A goddamn nightmare.
Also, the pedestrians in Ocean Beach.
Just no regard for human life.
Y'all just out here doing whatever the fuck you want to do. And listen, I support a lot of that. But like, if it is nighttime and you are dressed in all black and you have a small dog with you, please do not just walk out into the middle of the street.
Not just walk out, riding your bike.
Yeah,
while your dog is running next to you.
Yeah, that was wild. Saw it a lot. What's that about?
Oh my God.
Anyway,
everywhere. Yeah.
Anyway, people just walk in all because the streets are littered with cars and people walking through them. Anyway, it doesn't mean to be like bad San Diego. This was just the only bad part.
OB was amazing.
San
Diego was great.
Yeah. So starting from the beginning, so we decided that we were going to drive out there. We planned it so that we would get out there, and we were staying really close to Sunset Cliffs. So I had already looked it up, and I was like, cool. So what we can do, let's sit our stuff down, and then we'll go and watch the sunset on the cliffs, which we did. It was cold as fuck.
Yes.
Absolutely freezing. But we had our jackets, we had a blanket, and we snuggled by the rocks off the cliffs. And we watched the sunset over the water. And I had Nicole basically just tell me about Travis.
Yeah, she was like, tell me stories about your brother, and like, tell me about him. And so we did that while the sun was setting. It was absolutely gorgeous. Like, we're literally sitting like feet away from the Pacific Ocean. Like it was there.
If Nicole wanted to murder me at that point, she could have. So like, I trust her more now.
Like sitting on cliffs. And then after the sunset, we were sitting there for a little bit longer, and then we listened to the song, the Winter by Bayside.
Once the sun was fully gone.
And like I had my little cry, and it was great. And then we went.
So you still get to cry. That's the big thing.
Yeah, I did. I did get to cry.
I didn't want to make it so that like we were just doing stuff. You don't think about it. Like I wanted you to think about it a little bit. That's part of why we're doing it.
Yeah. And she was and she was cuddling me, which was sweet. And if you know Emily's not really much of a snuggler,
but I will do it in certain times.
So that was like, it was really comforting to have like my best friend sitting there next to me, like asking me all these stories about my brother, who she's never obviously never met. And
unfortunately did not get to meet Travis.
Yeah. And then, listened to this song, had brought it up on her phone, listened to this song, and we had a good cry.
Mm-hmm.
And it was nice. And I appreciated it because it allowed me to be in my grief and process my grief, but also like not in like the toxic way I have been for where I wallow in it. Like I just allow it to just consume me.
Mm-hmm.
And then I feel like this is peak Emily. Emily looked up places to go eat in San Diego, and she was like, hey, where's Guy Fieri? Has Guy Fieri been anywhere around here? Like,
listen, if I cannot decide where to eat in a place, if you go to Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives.com, they have a list of all the places they've been.
You can type it in by city.
And I was just wanting to see if there were any cool places. And listen, I trust Guy Fieri.
We stand Guy Fieri
We stand
on
Guy
this
Fieri.
podcast. Like hardcore.
For
He's
real.
the best.
He does good shit.
Take me to Flavor Town.
Take me to Flavor Town. But anyway, so he had gone to this one place called OB Noodle House,
Mhm.
and they had a really good wings. Even though wings are not my thing, they also had fun. I was like, hell yeah.
So good.
So that's where we went. And it was really cool. It was like outdoors too. We got to sit in they opened up the walls.
Yeah. And there were heat lamps because it was cold.
Yeah. So we were sitting like outdoor-ish. We were inside, but it was still outside because there were no walls. It was wild.
Yeah. We were on the same. So it's like a long table. The one bench was outside. The one bench was inside, but we were in the middle of the window. And we were sat next to each other.
Yeah.
And then we sat across from these two other girls that ended up sitting across from us.
But it's like a big,
huge table.
So like they're on the other side.
Yeah. Enough that we could hear each other's conversations, but not enough that it was like it looked like we were having dinner, the four of us kind of thing.
It definitely didn't.
And Guy Fieri, you did not disappoint.
No, you should not. They were amazing.
That
I don't
place
even
is
like
so
wings.
good.
Fantastic.
It was the spicy garlic wings.
Yeah.
And we got the pho and it was so good.
Yes.
And I tried some local beer. It was like a Scottish pumpkin ale.
Yes,
oh
good.
my God. Ballast Point. Really good.
Very good.
And also what was funny is that I had posted that I was in San Diego and I forgot that I knew some people that lived in that area. And one of my friends, Lauren, commented, he was like, oh, you're in my old neighborhood in Ocean Beach. Make sure you go to OB Noodle House. And I had seen this after we went. I was like, that's so hilarious. That's where we went for dinner. And it was dope.
Already did.
There were a bunch of places that I had looked up in the area that I wanted to go to. There was the OB donut shop. After dinner, we looked up what you wanted dessert. You wanted dessert really badly. So I looked up dessert places because there was no dessert on this menu.
There was not.
And which is
it was weird, but it was
weird, but it was fine. And so I found this place that was closing soon. So we had to rush over there. Giant line.
Wild. We were like, we're in the right place.
Yeah. So it's good. This is one of the best pieces of advice I've ever gotten and I could ever give someone. If you see a giant line, ask why. And if someone tells you it's something for food,
yes,
get on that line.
You get in it. Yeah.
Do it. And also get more of what you're gonna buy because I made this mistake once and I will never I regret making that mistake I got on the line, I bought the thing, but I did not buy enough of it.
Yeah.
And then I ate the thing and it was so freaking good. And I was already back at my hotel and I couldn't go back for more. It was awful.
Anyway. So it was, what was it called? Do you remember
Lighthouse?
I think it was Lighthouse. It was like a ice cream. They had a waffle ice cream sandwich is what they're famous for.
Yeah.
Hot waffle sandwich.
They had so many different kinds of ice cream. Again, New Yorkers, Long Islanders, very much like Ralph's. Where they have ices, like they have non-dairy options, they have like vegan options, but it was like so many ice cream flavors.
If you're from the South, it's like, a Baskin Robbins.
Yeah, so many ice cream flavors.
I was making a joke. Yeah, because you said a very specific thing.
I didn't know. I'm an idiot. That like totally.
Baskin Robbins is everywhere.
It really is. It's so funny. Is there something like that in the South? What's that place that has all I don't know if it's in your South or if it's just North Carolina. There's like a very specific ice cream chain that I went to a lot in North Carolina that had concretes.
Culver's?
Not Culver's. Fuck that place. No, I can't remember what it's called.
Anyway, it's not important.
Yeah, anyway. So we went and we got you could add bacon to it, which was amazing. So it's essentially two little mini Belgian waffles with a scoop of ice cream in the middle. And I got bacon added on mine because we got the flavor of the month, which was like maple. Yeah,
it was some sort of maple nut thing.
It was so
with bacon, obviously makes sense.
So good. It was so good. We went back to our car, fucked up with the parking, went to sleep. I woke up, we got ready. And I didn't know that Emily had done this because I wasn't paying attention, but she put on like yellow makeup, which was really sweet.
Put on yellow makeup.
I don't have anything yellow. I don't own yellow, so I wasn't wearing anything.
Which I was like, okay, that's fine. Let's make it a thing where like we go out and we find yellow.
Yeah, which eventually we did. We'll get to that.
Yeah.
I want to point out something that happened, which I think is so cute, and I love Emily for it. And like, this is just like, I love this about our friendship, that we're so comfortable with each other. But like at the same time, we still have our like neuroses where you were just like, "Are you mad at me for taking so long to get ready?"
Okay. I have a chronic illness and I also have ADHD, and they work together to make me late all the time everywhere. So like it takes me like 2 hours to get ready. Like from the minute, like if I'm waking up and then have to be somewhere, I need like 2 hours to like get my shit together and go.
Which I know.
Because especially if I have to put my makeup on and stuff, like it's a whole thing. And so I was like getting ready, but like I have neuroses. Like I have specific things that I'm like, I'm afraid that she's mad at me.
Yeah.
Even though she has not said she's mad at me.
Yeah.
I feel like she is. And so instead of just like living with that feeling,
Yeah.
every like periodically I'd just come out and be like, "You mad at me?" And she'd be like, "No." And I'd be like, "Okay."
Watching TikToks, like, and like stuff like, I don't want to say what I was actually watching because that's
it's a whole other thing. But yeah, so get you a friend that you can like just be like, "You mad at me?" And they can say no.
And really and mean it.
And that's fine. Because it's a lot of times it's like, "Oh, I'm always afraid my friends are mad at me." Okay, so ask them. And then when your friends ask you, "Are you mad at me?" You can't get mad at them for asking. Just validate. Be like, "Yeah." Or like, "No, I'm not mad at you." Or like, "Yeah, I still love you." Like whatever they're asking you, like,
yeah.
You still like me? Yeah.
And also, if you're that person that's being asked, don't be afraid to actually tell them if you are.
Yeah, if you are, they're asking for a reason.
Yeah, like, and if you are, your feelings are valid, so you should tell them so that, you know, and they'll figure, that's why I love our friendship.
Exactly. And so like if Nicole had said, "Actually, yeah, I was really hoping to get out of here before then," we would have been able to have that conversation.
Mm-hmm.
So I was giving her that opportunity to tell me she was upset. But I was also asking, like, "You mad at me?" Because I was worried. I was like, "I'm afraid she's going to be mad. She wants to get out." But no, it was nice to just be able to be validated as I was getting ready and not stress out about it.
It was nice. So one of the things that we had planned to do, my brother was very much like a happy-go-lucky, go with the flow, like loved good vibes and hanging out, had a bunch of tattoos, which I found out later from his friends at his memorial was inspired by me, which I thought that was so amazing. Like, and so we were like, we'd been talking about getting a matching tattoo for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, this is the perfect opportunity to do that because it's such a great way to honor him. Getting tattooed on his Deathiversary, that is the best. Getting drinks, getting good food, and getting tattooed was the best way to honor my brother.
Yes.
And so we did that. We found a really dope tattoo place, SD Tattoos. It's over by some weird B team hockey stadium, like off some random highway. It was so funny. But it was also next to an amazing Brazilian. It was a Brazilian restaurant. Oh, that fucking cheesy bread. Holy shit.
I don't remember what it was called. I looked at the menu and it said cheese bread. And I was like, it was like Brazilian cheese bread. And I was like, I want that. It's going to mess my belly up so bad, but I want it.
Yeah. And we tried this really good Brazilian beer with it. And it was amazing.
Of course, we had the Brazilian steak tips, obviously.
Yes, we did. That was just really, really good.
So good. So we just sat there and ate and drank.
Waiting for our tattoo appointment.
Yeah. And I talked more about like Travis and stuff. Because that was the specific day. That was the
yes.
And so we like,
telling funny stories and things like that. And there was soccer on in the background because it's a Brazilian restaurant. Of course there was. And my brother loved soccer. So it really was. Everything just kind of fell into place very perfectly.
It was nice.
So we got tattooed by a man named Fabian, who was dope. And he did exactly what we wanted and managed to get everything was great. It was a quick little thing. As we've said it before, I'm literally wearing their shirt right now. We love the band Keep Flying. So we're sitting in the wrong.
I was like,
yeah, we can't do the thing.
Are we gonna put feet pics on the internet?
Yeah, we can put our feet pics on the internet, but Emily can show you that.
There you go.
So that is the tattoo that we got. I have it on the opposite foot.
Beautiful sock. Isn't this lovely?
It's there. So on their record is the Keep Flying Paper Airplane. And in the corner where it has the Serenity logo, instead of the Serenity logo, because that's way too much, we did just a little KF, which is adorable. Yeah. So I have it on my other foot.
Yeah. So when we put our feet together like that, like, you can see them. It's very
it is really cute.
I love it.
It's great. And then what did we do? Then we went and drove into San Diego proper, the actual like downtown city, to go to the gas lamp district.
Yes, which was gorgeous.
It was really gorgeous. Parked, walked around, went to a tavern, which ended up being really cool. Our bartender was from Atlanta, so we were talking about that.
Yeah.
Because he was wearing an Atlanta Braves hat, and I was like, congratulations.
I guess.
I'm a Mets fan. I fucking hate it. And so it was Wednesday. So it was at this tavern. It was Mystery Beer Day and like half off apps or something. So we just ordered a bunch of apps. We got our mystery beer, which was really fun. One of them was like the Hawaiian one was the best one. Mine was all right.
Yeah. Mine was it's Longboard. No, it was not Longboard Lager. It's same company.
I can't remember the name of it. It's like
Kona Brewing.
Yeah, it's Kona.
Yeah, it's the Kona beers. And this one there was a Longboard Lager, which is the one I like, but this one was,
I can't remember. It was like a blonde.
It was a blonde. Yeah, it was a light beer. It was lovely.
Tasted very pineapple-y.
It was very pineapple.
And then what did we do? Oh, and then we had passed this giant Dilly restaurant, ice cream shop, candy shop thing. And it had like one of those like old movie marquees with the neon lights. So we walked over there and got dope ass hot chocolate, hot mocha. Like it was, I had to put like a little Dilly square in mine, which is fucking awesome. I met a really cute corgi.
I tried to just let the night, because that's what Travis.
Yeah, he would just walk around.
Around and let it take you. So like that's what we did. We went down. We were like, that tavern looks cool. Let's go in there. I got a pretzel as big as my head. We were like,
God, it was so big.
We were like, what next? We passed that Ghirardelli thing. That was cool. Let's go do that. So we did that.
Then we were walking more on the strip of Gaslamp, just looking at all the different things. They had it set up where it was basically in the street. And then I don't remember how we were just walking, and we all of a sudden it was just so pretty and all these like gorgeous lights, and we looked into this store, and it was like these colorful handmade like bowls and lamps, and oh my god, they're so gorgeous. And I don't have,
if you are watching on the video, I have one of the pretty bowls.
We got a pretty bowl, and we found out that they're all handmade. None of them are the same.
Yeah,
they're all unique. And it's like I think it's Turkish Mediterranean style art, the way they do it. And then I went towards the back, and they had this wall of like little keychains, and I found an evil eye with little yellow beads on them, and that was the yellow thing that I bought. And I put it, and it was cool because like if you know anything about the evil eye, you're better explaining it than I am.
If you know anything about the evil eye, so the evil eye is usually in like more of a Greek Turkish culture kind of thing.
It's very Mediterranean cultural.
So what it means is if you have the evil eye, it means that like if someone thinks bad about you, so like so let's say I'm walking down the street and someone looks at me and is like thinks bad thoughts, there's an idea that like that could actively harm you. Or if somebody sees something that I have and like is envious of it and wants it, that could possibly harm you. So it's called the evil eye. So when you have the evil eye itself and you keep it on your person, it reflects it. It makes everything, all those thoughts bounce back off of you onto the person. So especially it's important, people hang them in their houses is the big thing, or put it on specific things they want to keep safe.
Yeah. So I put it, it was a keychain, little evil eye, and then I had 2 dangly yellow beads, very pretty, very cute. Bought that, put it on my backpack, that like my little teeny backpack that I carry around everywhere. So now I have that. So it's kind of like now Travis is protecting me as well as this evil eye, which is really cool.
Yeah. And I want to specify the evil eye is not a closed practice situation. This is something that everyone can use and have. So it's not like a...
It was also really funny because I remember I've been to Greece and I had seen so many of them and I just didn't know what they were. I didn't even think to ask. I was just dumb. And I didn't even think to ask what they meant. I was just like, creepy thing looking at me.
Like, lots of eyes everywhere.
They're really cool, but it's cool.
Yeah, so it was nice that we got like a protection situation.
Yeah. The next morning, I was sleeping in, not on purpose.
So we had parked in the same parking spot. We paid for parking this time,
Yes.
but you can only pay for 10 hours. And we had parked
At like 9 o'clock at night.
at like 9 o'clock at night. So that means we had to
like
be
7
up
a.m.
at like 7 a.m. because it's not like they could at least give you 12 hours.
I know, it's really annoying.
10 is dumb.
It was like 2 or 10.
That was it. So it was like 10 hours was the most we could get. And so Nicole's plan was to wake up at like 7.
I set an alarm.
Yeah, to go move the car.
I hit snooze.
Nicole can't see. So she wakes up and when her alarm goes off, she thinks she's hitting snooze and she hits stop. And then she goes back to sleep. So I had woken up and I was somehow, I don't know, I just felt it. I was like awake.
Emily's
I was like ready to go. I was like, okay. And if we want to get into the witchy part of it, I had pulled my tarot cards.
Yes.
And essentially, God, I can't remember what they actually were, but one of them, the way I pulled was like, what's the vibe for today and what energy do I need to get through it? The vibe for the day was essentially it was like it was not a good card.
Be prepared for danger or something.
It was like, things are going to go sideways. Things are going to go sideways. Things have the potential to go sideways. And really what that just means is like the winds are good for bad things to happen.
Yeah.
And then for my what energy do I need? I got the King of Swords, which is very like take charge, like fix it. Whatever's happening, just fix it before it becomes a problem. So I was like, okay, I'll keep an eye out for that, I fucking guess. So I wasn't feeling great about it. And I went outside and I had my coffee and I was like, and I had remembered we were about to leave. Nicole really wanted to go to this OB Donuts place. And it was right down the street from us.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, but we didn't want to go because it was cash only.
Yeah.
And we couldn't find an ATM. Yeah. And instead of trying to figure it out, Nicole was like, whatever, let's just go. So it was the next morning and I was like, you know what? Like, I'm up. I've had my coffee. I've already smoked my weed that morning. I was like, I'm up and like dressed and like ready. So I'm just going to walk and get donuts. Which,
if you know Emily at all, does not walk anywhere. Hates it.
Hate it. I went to visit Nicole in New York and at one point she was like, okay, we're just going to walk there. And I was like, I went to go buckle my seatbelt again. Like, what? And she's like, no, we're gonna walk. I was like, what the fuck? And she was like, you expect us to find parking? And I was like, I guess not.
Yeah.
Like, I hate it.
Yep.
I hate it.
So Emily walked to go to this donut shop for me.
And it wasn't super, super close either. So like, I'm patting myself on the back here.
So you deserve it.
Got up, walked down to the donut place while Nicole was still sleeping, got a dozen donuts because I knew we were driving back. So we'd have some for the road trip. Yeah. So I picked out a bunch of donuts, things that I thought she would like, got one with bacon on it.
It's
so like,
oh my God, this donut was like, it was like an eclair, but bigger, long style, shaped. It was like oblong shaped and it had just a strip of bacon on it and it was maple glazed.
Yes.
Fucking
I saw that and I was like, that feels right. So I got her that. I got specific donuts and then I also got her a can of Coke because she likes Coke out of the can for some fucking reason.
It just tastes better.
And so then I walked back. And when I got back, I felt like I was like, okay, thinking about my tarot cards.
Still sleeping, by the way.
Nicole's still sleeping. And I was like, okay, I was thinking about my tarot cards and I was still like feeling weird. And I was like, okay, what could possibly go wrong? And I thought about the car and I was like, okay, there's a good possibility Nicole did not get up and move the car at 7. At this point, it's like 8.
Yeah.
And I was like, there's a good chance she did not get up and move that car.
And you remembered what I had told you about 15 minutes earlier.
Nicole had said, if I had just left 15 minutes earlier, we wouldn't have gotten a ticket. And I was like, I'm going to go move the fucking car. So I got the keys, I put my shoes on, again, walked again.
Not as far, but still walked.
Got to the car and I see the car sitting there. It's still there, no ticket. And I'm like, oh thank God, it's the only one in the parking lot. I run over, jump in it, turn the car on. And as I start moving away, a fucking cop pulls into the fucking face. I was like, shut up. Oh my God, if I had been like 5 minutes later, if I had hesitated, if I had thought about it, there had been a longer line at the donut place.
She would have had to talk to the cop or there would have already been a ticket.
But I peeled the fuck out of it and was able to park on the street. There was surprisingly an open space.
Yeah.
I got a space and I walked back. And like everything was good. I walked in the front door and Nicole woke up and she was like, the car.
She was like, I took care of it.
And I was like, it's okay. I had a huge smile on my face because I was so fucking proud of myself. I was like, it's okay. Guess what? I I moved it. And she was like, you what? I was like, I moved it and I got donuts. What's up? Good morning.
And then as you're filming, you were filming bits for the TikTok video that you made about it, and you were filming the donuts on the table and the can of Coke, and you can hear me very lightly in the background, and you got the subtitles on saying, I'm so proud of you for walking.
I'm so proud of you for walking. And I was like, thank you.
And I ate these donuts, and it was worth it because they were so good.
They were fantastic. And then, so we cleaned up, we got out of the Airbnb. And then again, thinking what could go wrong, like with my brain, I was like, with thinking about my tarot cards, I was like, we need to get, like, let's go ahead and get down to the pier.
Oh my God, yeah.
Because I wanted to make sure that we got a chance to get down there and do that. So like, we went down there, we found a parking space, found fantastic parking space.
Hell yeah, it was great.
Walked up and down the pier. We're very long. And then we were like, hey, look, there's these like rocks, like under where the Sunset Cliffs were. We could see the Sunset Cliffs where we were before. And we could see down these like tide pool like areas.
Yep.
And we were like, cool, let's go walk around on that. I'm from I'm from Georgia and Tennessee. So like, I've never seen these rocky beach things. Like,
yeah. And Long Island is very rocky beach.
So I'd never seen this, but I was like living it up. I was like, this is super cool. It's very slippery. We made it down there. We were like, this is so lovely and nice. The tide was going out, so it wasn't too bad. And we get closer and closer. I've got my phone in my hand. And like, we get closer and closer to the edge, and Nicole's standing up on a rock.
And I turned around and look at you and say to you, man, I wish I had worn my bathing suit because I would totally just jump in right now. And not sooner as I said this,
like huge fucking wave that comes and just wrecks our whole shit.
And oh my God, I'm not kidding you.
It was so cold. Oh my God, it was so cold.
Freezing.
Took
and
my breath
like,
away.
we were actually like just completely soaked.
Yeah.
It was like a goddamn movie.
Like, and I looked at Nicole, I was like, because I couldn't speak. It was so cold. I was trying to laugh, and I vividly remember being like, it was the best I could get out because I couldn't laugh, and it was so cold.
So then after that, we just leaned into it.
No, I looked at you and said, maybe this is what the card meant. So if that is what my card meant, I decided to do what it said I should do, which was just take control of the situation. So we leaned into it.
Yeah, we leaned into it. We got a little more wet. We're playing around, We
played in the water. It was already wet. Took a photo shoot. Yeah. And then
got some good ones. I got one of a wave literally about to crash on Emily's face.
It was amazing. It's definitely my on Facebook, my, what is it called? Not profile picture, but
like your banner or something.
The banner. But anyway, so we do that. And then I was like, okay, we're right next to a boardwalk. Let's go out there, buy clothes.
Yeah.
Find the sale rack and just buy clothes. Buy some.
And a towel.
Because we had no towel. We were not prepared. So we just bought whatever we needed. We got it. We changed in the car because we found a good parking spot. And then we walked along the boardwalk a little bit more. And then we found a place to eat.
Oh my God, this place. Hodad.
Shout out to Hodad's.
Hell yeah. They also have a brewing company.
Yes. And we went in and we each got a burger, even though we can't eat red meat. I can't eat cheese.
We're not
worth it.
We're not supposed to eat red meat. Neither of us.
No.
For different reasons, but neither of us are supposed to eat red meat, but we were just like,
not like if we do, we'll die, but if we do, we know the consequences kind of thing.
Upset tummies.
Yeah.
I got a bacon cheeseburger. You got a cheeseburger.
Yep. And it was one of the best burgers I've ever eaten in my life.
Yeah. It was a simple fucking bacon cheeseburger. It was just a burger.
It was just a burger.
And
it was one of the
fries too.
Fantastic.
So good. And the place was covered in license plates that were vanity license plates. So they all said really random shit on them, which is dope. They had like a VW bus that they like just the front part kind of thing that you could sit in it, which was really cool. Another one of those situations where like there was a line. Yeah, there was a line. We were like, what's this? What's happening? And we were like, let's eat here. I don't know. It was a big old line. I'm telling you guys, if you see a place that has a line, it's worth the wait. There's a reason there's a line. Then I asked if they could, I picked up hot sauce for Nathan. I don't know if he's tried it yet. He has. He likes it. Oh, good. Yeah. And I asked if you could get their beer to go. And they were like, not here, but you can go to the liquor store next door and they sell it there. So I went over next door. I got a 6-pack of their Surf Punk lager. And It's delicious.
Mhm.
And then we got in the car and we drove home. And like, I just want to say the drive to and from on the same road, I think it's like 8 is the name of the highway. It was just gorgeous. You saw a lot of stuff. We were in mountains. We were at sea level at one point, and then we went up in 4,000.
Ears fucked up hater.
I had like a sinus infection during this time, and like my ears just got so effed. But it was great. It was like a fun drive. A lot of just middle of nowhere stuff, but beautiful. And it was genuinely like one of the best times I've just like ever had. Like, even though the reason we were going is sort of a sad like it is a sad reason. Yeah. Like I lost my brother and stuff, but like that I like to think that Travis would have wholeheartedly approved of everything we did and would be like, this is what I want for my sister. I don't want my sister to like mourn me. I want her to celebrate me. And it was like very much like I'm living my life for both of us now kind of thing. And it was just nice. It was lovely. I absolutely, God, no one's ever done that for me. So it was very much like, you know, I know you say to me like, thank you so much. Like, you'll never know how grateful I am for you coming out here and like,
I am very grateful. I want that on record right now.
Yeah. But like, it's the same. It goes both ways. Like, I'm very grateful that you did that for me because you gave up seeing one of your favorite bands that day.
We don't have to talk about that. It's not important.
It's true though. But that's what I mean. Like,
Neck Deep was coming to Phoenix, and it was their tour that they had put off from last year. They're my favorite band.
They're from Wales,
but they're literally the date of the concert was November 10th.
The day.
And I was like, no, like I will have time to see them again when they do not come on November 10th.
If they break up,
they're not going to break up. They're fine. So the whole time Nicole was like, are you sure? I was like, do I want to go to San Diego to support my best friend on the anniversary of her brother's death or see a band I really like? That's not a contest. And anyone who's made you feel like that, that's a contest.
That's what I'm saying.
Needs to be punched in the throat. That's names and phone numbers and addresses. I just want to fucking talk.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like that, but that's why I say that, because not everybody would do that. And the older I get, the more I realize, like Nova and I were talking about this last night. The older I get, the more I realize that like I do not have room in my life for people that don't do the same things that I would do for them.
Yeah,
to me.
That's fair.
And so like my friendship circle has dramatically shrunk. You're basically it, love.
You're basically it.
No pressure.
You can't get rid of me.
But like, honestly, like I told my therapist this, like the week after we got back, when we were in Sedona, I was like, I did not know true friendship until this happened. So like, I love you.
I love you. And on that very sentimental note,
yes.
I think that's a good place to end it.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for listening to our podcast. Thank you for coming from LA to San Diego with us. Tune in next time where we get to talk about, what are we talking about next time? Is it
we're talking
New York to Phoenix.
New York to Phoenix.
Next flight, New York to Phoenix.
Yep.
Can't wait to see you guys then. If you want to hear more from me personally, you can find me at Neurotic Good.
You can find me at Nicole the Nerdy. And we both are on a podcast called The Legends of Lanamara. So check that out as well. And all of our other Novi Studio content by visiting novistudio.io, because there's a lot of stuff. So many big things in the work, y'all. Woo! So excited.
Super hyped.
Yeah.
Start a business with your best friend. It's fun.
Yes.
Anyway. All right. Love you. Thanks for coming. Bye.